Good afternoon, honorable scientists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the grand launching ceremony of Masterminds Masterclasses 2.0, also known as MM2.0, organized by the Council of the Hong Kong Laureate Forum, which is also named as the HKLF. First of all, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Patricia. It's my pleasure to be your MC today. First of all, on behalf of the HKLF, a very warm welcome to all of you joining us physically here today, and of course, also to those of you joining us online right now through webcasting. Why don't we give a big round of applause to welcome everybody here today? Thank you for being here. Thank you. From today to this Friday, MM2.0 will bring a number of sub-events that cater for different targeted audiences from Hong Kong and around the world. We will have seminars, roundtable dialogues, online and in-person focus groups, trending topic session for climate emergency, designated activities for senior secondary students, not to mention exploration corner with VR experience and poster presentation for in-person participants. Very exciting. And more importantly, on behalf of the HKLF, we are very thankful for all the support from our academic friends, partners, and collaborating organizations to make this event possible. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please join me and welcome on stage Professor Timothy Tong, Chairman of the Council of the Hong Kong Laureate Forum Limited, to come on stage for a welcome speech. Professor Tong, please.
Good afternoon. Professor Sandong, Dr. Sunny Chan, Professor Chen Wai-yi, Principal Andy Wan Ka-kit, Professor W.T. Wong, Counsel General Mr. Alexander Danda, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Masterminds Masterclasses 2.0, in short, MM 2.0. When I saw the name, it reminded me of the chocolate, M&M. Okay. As you can guess, this program is offered for the second time, therefore 2.0. The previous one was offered a year ago. As a matter of fact, for the past 2 years, the Council of the Hong Kong Laureate Forum has been hosting both online, in-person, and hybrid programs as pre-forum events, building up the interest, leading up to the inaugural Hong Kong Laureate Forum scheduled to be held from the 13th to the 18th November 2023. So it's just about a year from now. The first inaugural forum will be held. And this year, in July, we did host another event named Wonder Women in Science, as you saw in the video. If you missed that event, you can watch the whole program from our website and learn more about how the featured women scientists have shaped some of the most astounding scientific discoveries. Back to Masterminds and Masterclasses. The concept behind it is for renowned scientists from the Shaw Prize topics, namely astronomy, life science and medicine, and mathematical sciences, to share their work and their personal take on how to handle the ups and downs in their research journey. Their sharing aims to encourage the young generation to explore science as well as to help aspiring young scientists to map out their scientific pursuit. For this year, we have included new elements such as Exploration Corner, where you can experience moon landing through virtual reality, and a poster session showcasing some of the young scientists' work. There's also a session on trending topics involving scientists from different disciplines speaking on climate emergency. For the cross-generation sharing and science projects presentation by secondary school students, a session has been scheduled just before the closing of this program on the 11th of November. So that's really is a finale. As in the past, most of our sessions have live webcast and recording for future viewing. Let me tell you a little bit more about the Hong Kong Laureate Forum. It was formed in 2019 to promote science and technology, targeting local youth in particular. The Hong Kong Laureate Forum aspires to be an annual world-class event to connect the current and next generations of leaders in scientific pursuit. It will bring together Shaw Prize laureates and aspiring young scientists for intellectual exchanges. We believe our work will not only encourage more young people to pursue science and technology as a career, but to promote Hong Kong as an ideal global research hub. To kick off MM2.0, we have a panel discussion focusing on the nurturing of local talents. We would like to broach the subject through various lenses. Therefore, we have speakers coming from industry, Dr. Sunny Chai, who is chairman of the Hong Kong Science Park. From academia, we have Professor Chen Wai-yi, who is vice president of strategic development from Chinese University of Hong Kong. And we also have a former colleague of mine, Professor W.T. Wong, who is deputy president and provost and chair professor of chemical technology from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. I'm delighted that we also have Principal Andy Gargett, who is executive committee member of the Hong Kong Association of the Heads of Secondary Schools and Headmasters of Baptist Lui Ming Choi Secondary School. They will share their views on what are the key elements to enthuse students, starting from secondary schools, to become interested in science, and once they enter university, to keep them on the path of research, and what career opportunities are available for them. But before the discussion, we are honored to have Professor Sun Dong, Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry, to speak to us. But before handing over the stage to Professor Sun, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all our guest speakers. There are over 20 of them throughout the 3-day event. Some of our speakers here today are Dr. Timothy Carlton Bondrake. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Okay. Dr. Sean Hong, Professor Tong Yang, Professor Yuan Xiaoming, Professor Zhang Jinhua. Thank you for taking precious time out of your busy schedule to participate with us today. Let me also thank our collaborating partners for MM2.0, the Hong Kong Young Academy of Sciences and Invest Hong Kong. I would also like to thank Consul General of the Republic of Poland, Mr. Alexander Danda, and our friends from the French Consulate, Benjamin, Camelia, and Adrian, for being here today. Last but not least, our young friends, for your eagerness to come on this journey to explore science. So, without further ado, to learn about the government's initiatives to chart Hong Kong's course towards the vision of being an international innovation and technology center, and all the work that entails, let us welcome our guest of honor, Professor Sun Dong. Thank you, Professor Sun. Please, the stage is yours.
So, dear Professor Tong, Professor Chen, Mr. Wen, Professor Wang, Sunny, all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm so pleased to join you all today at the grand launching ceremony of Masterminds Masterclass 2.0. Following the great success of the program last year, it is exciting to see so many top-tier scientists, academics, and experts getting up here again. Masterminds Masterclass 2.0 serves as a significant platform for world-renowned scientists from different expertise to exchange and share their insights, research journey, and personal experience along the pathway in science and technology. I know that this program is a prelude to the inaugural Hong Kong Laureate Forum, which is scheduled for November next year at the Hong Kong Science Park. And the preparation is now in full swing. As highlighted by the Chief Executive in his policy address delivered last month, short laureates, some of them are also Nobel laureates, and world-renowned distinguished scientists will be invited to spend a week in Hong Kong interacting with young scientists from around the world and exchange experience and insights at the forum. I very much look forward to joining this grand event and welcoming all scientists coming to Hong Kong next year. Innovation and technology, means INT in short, development, has always been the top priority of the HKSAR government. Over the past years, the government has allocated an unprecedented amount of resources to drive the INT development. As set out in the National 14th Five-Year Plan, the country has demonstrated her acknowledgement in Hong Kong's INT development and the high hopes of Hong Kong devoting to the country's development in science and technology. With such enduring support from the country and the government's commitment, we have strong faith in the prospect of INT in Hong Kong, as we see the city's INT ecosystem is flourishing and increasingly vibrant. The current term government spares no effort to develop Hong Kong into an international INT center. In order to charge Hong Kong in moving full steam towards this vision, the government will promulgate the Hong Kong's INT development blueprint next month to set our major strategies and recommendations and the 4 broad development directions. And in the policy address announced last month, it sets out a series of new initiatives to forge ahead the INT development of Hong Kong for the city's high-quality economic development. To capitalize Hong Kong's strong capability in scientific research, we will further enhance the INT ecosystem of Hong Kong by speeding up the midstream technology transfer in the local universities. We have earmarked $10 billion to launch the research, academic, and industry sectors 1+ game, RISC+ game in short, next year, to promote commercialization of universities' outstanding R&D outcomes. Under this new funding scheme, funding will be provided on matching basis for universities' research team which have strong potential to become INT startups. Through cross-disciplinary collaboration among the government, industry, academic, and the research sectors, we aim to strengthen the coordination of the upstream, midstream, and downstream development. In particular, we hope to encourage the university to proactively push ahead end-to-end in transformation of exceptional R&D achievements and industry development. Funding support aside, talent is also a key to success of INT development in Hong Kong. We will further enlarge our talent pool by nurturing, retaining, and attracting talents to ensure the competitive needs and healthy development in the industry. In this regard, we will be working closely with the newly established Office for Attracting Strategic Enterprises, namely OASES, to provide special facilitation measures in a targeted manner to attract top-notch R&D talents to bring with them their businesses or R&D outcomes to Hong Kong. We will also enhance our existing tech talent schemes and accommodation support, thereby enhancing our competitive edge for outstanding talents. Furthermore, we will attract high-quality enterprises to Hong Kong, primarily focusing on the industries such as life and health technology, artificial intelligence and data science, as well as advanced manufacturing and new energy technology, which are of strategic importance and advantages to Hong Kong. In conjunction with our collaboration with OASES, making use of the 30 billion co-investment fund and the 5 billion strategic tech fund, as well as land and space provided for INT use in the Loma Chou Loop and elsewhere, we aim to attract at least 100 high potential or representative INT enterprises to set up or expand their businesses in Hong Kong in the coming 5 years, including at least 20 top-notch INT enterprises, bringing widened scope of investment to Hong Kong and creating more local job opportunities, in particularly for our young people. With Hong Kong being the gateway accessing to the gigantic and vibrant market of the Greater Bay Area and other mainland cities, INT companies and startups around the globe can make the best use of Hong Kong as their springboard to develop and expand their businesses in the mainland while contributing to the INT development of Hong Kong. In the meantime, Hong Kong will continue to actively integrate into the overall national development and leverage Hong Kong's strengths as an international city so as to contribute to the country's needs. The recent recruitment of the payroll specialist for the first time in Hong Kong demonstrates the country's confidence in Hong Kong's level in scientific research and the country's care for the prospect of our young generation. The recruitment period closed 2 weeks ago, and we have received an overwhelming response with 120 applications in total. The applicants have very impressive background in various disciplines, and it reflects Hong Kong's R&D strengths and dedication to contributing to the country's development. I trust that with the staunch support from our motherland and the determination of the current term government to develop INT, there will be more opportunity for Hong Kong to participate in national-level science and technology missions, and more of our young talents will be engaging in the country's manned space program in future. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes 10 years to grow a tree, but 100 to educate people. Cultivating talents indeed involves long-term effort and engagement. This vision and mission could not be accomplished by the government alone. We need the full support from everyone in the society. I therefore would like to extend my deepest appreciation to the Hong Kong Laureate Forum, as well as all the speakers today, for your continued tribute to promote intellectual exchange among different generations of leaders in science and technology, so as to inspire our young talents to a full extent. Your ongoing commitment and contribution are invaluable and essential to the growth and development of Hong Kong. In closing, I wish the event a great success and a fruitful experience for all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Sun. Please remain on stage, and we would like to invite you to officiate the following launching ceremony for us. And now, this juncture, we would also like to first of all invite Professor Tong to come on stage and join Professor Sun on stage. Please welcome Professor Tong. Right now, joining Professor Sun and Professor Tong, we would like to invite our guest of honor today who will be actually sharing their views and insights with us after the kickoff ceremony and photo sessions. Please first of all join me in welcome Dr. Sunny Chai, Chairman of Hong Kong Science and Technology Park Corporation. Please welcome. Next, let's welcome on stage Professor Chan Wai-yi, Vice President of Strategic Developments, the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Please welcome. Next, we have Professor Wang Wing-tak, Deputy President and Provost and Chair Professor of Chemical Technology, the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Please welcome. Next, let's welcome Principal Wang Ka-kit, Executive Committee Member of Hong Kong Association of Heads of Secondary Schools and Principal of Baptist Loi Ming Choi Secondary School. Please welcome. Now, later on, our guests will be placing this beautiful light bulb into the props right in front of you. And before that, let's take a photo together. Please smile for our camera at the center. Okay, this gentleman at the center is our official photographer, so please smile for his camera, and we'll have a few more. Later on, our officiating guests will be placing the lights on the positions that was symbolized by joining professions, resources, and efforts from the government and various stakeholders in the community. We enlighten our younger generation on the development in science and technology. Now let's do the countdown together, shall we? All right, when our guests are ready, I'll do the count. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The Masterminds Masterclasses 2.0 is now officially launched. Congratulations. And now, would our officiating guests please hold, and we'll have a few more photos. Please smile for the camera at the center. Let's have a few more photos to commemorate this special moment. That's amazing. All right. I guess we got it. Thank you very much. Please remain on stage. As at the following juncture, as Professor Tong mentioned earlier, we are very thankful to have many friends and partners that support our HKLF as well as this 2022 flagship program. Without scientists, experts, academics, and our collaborating partners, this MM2.0 would not be possible. Now we would like to first of all invite representatives of our advisors of the HKLF Program Steering Committee and MM2.0 participating scientists to come on stage for the next group photo. Please join me and welcome Professor Shan Mai-har, Pro Vice Chancellor, Vice President Research, and Cho Ming Lee, Professor of Biomedical Sciences, the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Next, let's welcome Professor Zhang Jianhua, Associate Vice President of Global Research Collaboration and Chair Professor of Plant Biology, Hong Kong Baptist University. Next, we have Dr. William Lam, Chief Curriculum Development Officer, Science Educational Bureau, HKSAR. Please welcome. Next, let's welcome on stage Dr. Timothy Carton Bobright, Associate Professor, School of Biological Sciences, the University of Hong Kong. Please welcome. Next, we have Dr. Sean Han, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Hong Kong Baptist University. Please welcome. Next, let's continue to welcome Professor Alice Wong, Associate Vice President of Research, Interim Director and Professor of School of Biological Sciences, the University of Hong Kong. Next, we have Professor Tong Yang, Chair Professor of Mathematics, City University of Hong Kong. Let's welcome. Next, let's welcome Professor Yuan Xiaoming, Head and Professor, Department of Mathematics, the University of Hong Kong. We're really, really grateful for all the support. Now, would our guests please stand closer to the center, and we'll get this beautiful photo together, and we'll make sure everybody is in the frame. All right, a little bit closer to the center, please. All right, that's perfect. let's take this one happy photo and smile for the camera, please. All right, let's take a few more. All right, thank you very much. Would Professor Sun and Professor Tong please remain on stage, and other guests please be seated. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause to thank our guests, please. Thank you. Thank you so much for the tremendous support. And today, it is also our great honor to have Council of Culture, Education and Science of Consulate General of France in Hong Kong and Macau, Mr. Benjamin Cabot. Please welcome on stage for the following photo. We're also pleased to have representatives of MM2.0 collaborating organizations. From the Hong Kong Young Academy of Science, let's welcome the President, Professor Anderson Shum, Associate Vice President of Research and Innovation, the University of Hong Kong. And from Invest Hong Kong, we have Ms. Alison Choi, Head of International Business Development. Please welcome. All right, now we'll take another group photo, and would our photographer please get ready? All right, let's smile for the camera. And thank you once again for all the partners for your staunch support to the HKLF. Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Please be seated. Thank you. Another big round of applause again to our guest of honor, Professor Sun, and also thank you, Professor Tong. Well, of course, we would like to thank every one of you for joining us today physically. So why don't we have a big group photo to commemorate this moment? At this juncture, our photographer will be coming to the stage and take a group photo for everybody joining us physically here at the ceremony today. All right, let's have a photographer ready, and we'll get all of you ready, and let's smile for the camera. All right, big smiles. Okay, please smile for the camera here on stage, just right at the center. One more. Cheers. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. That's beautiful. Now, in the following session, we're extremely grateful to have a panel discussion to talk about grooming of local science talents, development of science and technology, resource allocation in education and research, as well as the opportunity for the younger generation riding on Hong Kong's position as an international science and technology hub. We all agree, I think, that it needs synergy among diverse stakeholders in the community to support the development of science and technology and the next generation. As such, we are much honored to have 4 distinguished guests here at the panel discussion today to share their views and insights from different perspectives. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please once again welcome on stage Dr. Chai, Professor Chan, Professor Wong, and Principal Wan to the stage. Please welcome. All right, thank you very much. Please be seated. Wow, we are going to have this very important discussion, I'm sure. I have got several questions for our gentlemen here on stage, and let's get it started. So a little background for everybody. So the policy address delivered by the Chief Executive 3 weeks ago has committed a lot of resources to build up Hong Kong to be an international innovation and technology center, INT center, which we believe it does involve a wide spectrum of topics and building blocks such as infrastructure, ecosystem, and talents. So the government will promulgate the Hong Kong INT development blueprint within this year. We would like to ask our panelists, what would you like to see in this blueprint? Why don't we start with Professor Wong, please?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me in this forum. I think one of the important issues, in this new initiative from the government is it's really exciting, to see governments would like to invest so much on the downstream applications and try to bring our universities, local university, and all their invention discovery, to market. And this is actually a very big step, very important boost to the work at the university level. And at the moment, most of our research activities, remains within academic community. And it is not easy, okay, to have a bridging funding source, okay, so that we can ask our colleagues to work one step further,
Right.
okay, to meet the market needs. And in order to do that, actually this is a government initiative in many other country overseas. Say for example Singapore, our country mainland China. Now in Hong Kong, it is actually very, very happy to see governments doing that. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of more support on the funding source, that would be very important as well. So talking about, I heard about secondary students and how they want to promote and give more support to younger generation. We cannot miss out Principal Wan. What do you think? What do you want to see in the blueprint?
Of course, because I'm working in the secondary school, of course, I would like to anticipate that there would be a stress in the secondary school education about the science, innovation, and technology. I've got 4 points here. First of all, I think the government can help to foster the collaboration between secondary school, university, and the industry, so that we can provide more opportunity for the student to get some research science project, some competition, so that they can get first-hand experience in this kind of project or scientific investigation under the support of universities and industry.
Right.
And also in this case, I think there will be a lot of opportunity for these to school. Actually, don't underestimate the idea generated from the
Younger generation.
younger generations.
Indeed.
Yeah, because maybe they can produce some new ideas, some knowledge, or some product that can be commercialized, and then it may be treated as a kind of access to the secondary school as well. So second is, I think teachers is a cool factor that to make a lot of education possible. So teachers training, teachers education regarding the learning and teaching process, about the scientific investigation, and also maybe in the teaching institute there would be some program for them to have some hands-on experience in research. I think that one is important. Yeah.
Right, to equip these teachers as well.
Yeah. And also for the university entrance, I think this one is very important. Would it be in the blueprint that to cultivate or to initialize some program that is recognized by the university that can make a direct admission or may consider it as a very important part of the admission for the students, so that they can put more effort on it. About the scientific investigation.
Right.
Last, maybe the government can introduce some internationally recognized research program to our youngest. Let's say the RSI, Research Science Institute in MIT, or something like SIP, Science Internship Program in UCSC, so that the student can get first-hand international experience in research field.
To be more, get more exposure to these
exactly.
type of knowledge and updates. Well, speaking about the collaboration between secondary schools, universities and the industry, I think HALF is setting a very great example on that, because we're connecting all the experts and scholars together to inspire the younger generation. And of course, this question, we have to direct that to Dr. Chai as well, saving the very important insights from you to the last. But we would like to ask you about, what do you think about, or what do you like to see in the blueprint? If we talk about maybe infrastructure and talent support, I think it will be much more related to Hong Kong Science Park.
I'm not going to get my secretary into trouble to ask for more money, because like our professors here, okay, I'm being supportive a lot with the Bureau, and also in the last 2 terms of government, in the industry, in academic, in INT sector, we often seen that was a golden age that the government has invested so much in INT, and I've been doing INT and establishing startups since 30-something years ago. So to young people going into IT sector, students or people who wants to do startups, it's a golden age. And in this term of government, it's even take the whole thing into a high level. With President Xi Jinping visited Science Park on June 30th, he said, I didn't have a recorder, by the way, he said that Hong Kong does have a good foundation and has a great potential in INT. So it brings clearly that Hong Kong needs to be an international INT center. So to me, I hope that I have a dream, okay, that someday our ecosystem, in our INT ecosystem, you don't need Science Park there. You don't need government funding. So the entire ecosystem will be run by itself with investors, tech companies, all by themselves. But of course, today, we need government, we need infrastructure, platforms, all that, to support the flywheel to start and grow.
And we'll just develop, and everybody will get involved. That's very important. Well, we know that one of the key measures in the policy address regarding INT is to promote commercialization of research and development outcomes, the R&D outcomes, by earmarking some $10 billion to launch the Research, Academic and Industry Sectors 1+ scheme, which is the RAISE Plus scheme, with the aim to support on a matching basis at least 100 research teams in universities which have good potential to become startups. Well, we will let you ask our panel members' views on how this initiative would impact the research scene in universities and on key infrastructure development like Science Park. So maybe we will have this question answered by Dr. Chai later on. I'll first like to ask Professor Chan here.
Well, thank you for asking this question. Actually, I was trying to take us back to the blueprint first before I answer this question. Sure. I think, what I like to see in the blueprint is a more holistic picture of the future of development of R&D or INT in Hong Kong. Now, for that, we have to look at, for development of that, there are basically 3 stages. Talent recruitment, talent nurturing, and then mid-level research, and then downstream research, that will be the application. We have actually, the government actually inject a lot of funds already to promote downstream to commercialization of research product. Right. In fact, the RAISE Plus scheme, the purpose is really that, to promote, to put our research results into product commercialization. But I think we have to remember, for that to develop, or for that to sustain development in Hong Kong, we need to have the talents. We need to have support to research. Your question is, what does the RAISE Plus scheme affect research? Right. To me, I think the effect is positive in the sense that it gives all scientists a hope that if I do well, actually I can commercialize my product because of that scheme. So that is the positive part. Now then, I think what you try to ask is, will there be any negative impact on research? Right? That's
the overall change on the scene.
That's the question that you did not ask, but I think the underlying tune is that, does that affect research? I'll say yes and no. Now, let me say about the yes, the no first. Because you're diverting the fund primarily in that respect to support the downstream work. Not as much to the research, which I don't think is a correct impression. In fact, the government did inject a lot of money into supporting basic research, because we see that, in fact, the government doubled the research allocation to UGC already, right? James is down there, and then he knows very well about that. So actually, the government did support the research. Now, so that is, in fact, I think it's not a negative, but a positive. But then another thing which actually is very positive is that it did give the picture to the parents, at least, that in fact doing research has a future. Now, in fact, before we came down here, we were talking downstairs about the availability of research work or professorial posts in universities in Hong Kong. And in fact, Mr. Warren told us that, in fact, a lot of parents might have the feeling that it is hard to find a research job in Hong Kong, which was correct when I was in college 40 years ago. It is not correct right now. In fact, there's so many vacancies in Hong Kong for anyone doing research to find a job very easy. Now, that is very important. We have to have that knowledge out, that information out to the community, to the parents, not only to the kids, now, to the students also for sure, but it's more important to the parents. Because, frankly, as a student, secondary student, I don't believe, I may be wrong now, but I don't, at least I'm speaking from my own personal experience, I don't believe any secondary student, well, not any, not too many secondary students will have a very clear picture of the career, in the future career.
Right.
When they were in secondary school, they didn't. In fact, if I count myself, I can tell you that I did not have a clear career picture in my mind, not even after I finished my college. And whatever I decided to do in the beginning was actually decided, or not decided, persuaded by my parents. I think that's true for most of the students here, right? Do you all agree or do you not agree? So I think, at least that to me is a very positive effect on the future development of science and technology in Hong Kong. That means if we can give the impression to the parents or to the adults in the community, they will, in fact, translate that message to their kids to say, hey, go there. Now you can find a job there. If you do research or if you study science, you can find a job very easily. I think that's why, like nowadays, when you talk to most parents or most students, they'll say, oh, I want to go to medicine. Why? Because you can find a job very easily, right? Why did not you go into mathematics? Oh, it's hard to find a job. Is that true? It's not true, actually. But then, in general, it's not wrong. I mean, in general, it's not false, but it's not totally true. So to me, I think that's important. What we are doing is, what I do like to see in the blueprint is that there will be policies of the government to encourage our young kids to go into science by, for example, giving the positive prospect of going to science to the parents. And second is to actually have more policies in place to encourage our teachers to transmit that message to our kids. I think we really have to give the training to our teachers,
Right.
such that they can convey the correct message to our children. Third is that, in fact, to have like policies that will encourage, for example, like science fair, for example. Now, science fair is a very commonplace in the U.S., for example, because I was there for 40 years, and my kids go through from kindergarten to college. And they have science fair in elementary school, early secondary school, mid-secondary school, and their standard is very high. The kids love science because they can, as kids, you want to do something, you want to compete. And so if you give them that opportunity, that makes them more curious, a lot easier to do jobs with their hands, and a lot eager to investigate. And I think that is the basic quality to be a scientist. And once they get used to that, going into science is no problem for them.
Right.
But I think that's the things that I do not see much since I came back to Hong Kong. I did not see that much. Now, if you look at the textbook, our secondary school textbook, science textbook, is very good. It's not easy at all. In fact, when I look at those textbooks, the standard is so high that even though it is in high school, they can be actually in college. But why do we have not to have that many scientists? The reason is because they are all knowledge is book-based. Their knowledge is not process-based. Their knowledge is not, in fact, with hands. I think that to me is the problem. So that's what I would like to see in the blueprint.
I'm sure we're going to be on a great direction, because after the discussion today, I'm sure Principal Wan will be delivering the message back to other principals and other secondary schools, and we can do more work to the younger generation and also for our teachers and parents as well. And back to the Raise Plus scheme, though, I heard from Professor Chan that you said there are yes and no, and I would like to talk with Dr. Chai and see what your views are.
Okay. The scheme is for research, academic, industry sector. I know the Innovation Technology Commission has been reaching out to exchange views with university already. I'm waiting for our commission to do that with the industrial sectors. And of course, when we want this program to be a win, win, and win, you need KPIs. Okay, KPIs in terms of appraisals in school or to industry sector in terms of profit making, and how to raise this win-win-win situation to the three parties is the main point, and ultimately, so this will bring up helps on the translation from research to industry, eye to eye. Yeah.
Right. So definitely we'll have different parties work together to make things go in a more positive way and to see more elaborations and development and innovation as well. Well, the next question we would like to direct to the two professors. We talked about some of the funding schemes just now. And in 2024-25 academic year, it is a plan to have a substantial increase in UGC-funded research postgraduate places. We talked about that, and just a little information for our audience. It is going to be raised from 5,600 to 7,200, some 28.5% increase. However, a record in 2022 showed that around 82 of postgraduate students are non-locals. Why do you think local students are not taking up these opportunities, even with the Raise Plus scheme? Do you think there may be just a small portion of local talents being involved?
Well, actually, that is what I said earlier. In fact, when I talked with Mr. Wan, I think Hong Kong students are very bright.
Yeah.
That's obvious, because if you go outside of Hong Kong to the other countries, or the other universities, you see a lot of our kids are doing very well, absolutely very well. And they can go into science without any problem. But then why are there so few Hong Kong students going into the undergraduate science subjects? Again, as I said earlier, secondary students usually do not really have a very clear objective of what they want to do, what they want to achieve. They don't know yet. They don't have enough information, I think. So a lot of times, what they decide to go into college depends on the advice they get from their parents. And if the parents do not see or do not know clearly the career future of a subject, they will persuade their students not to go into those areas.
Right.
And again, as I said earlier, or again, as what we believe is that most parents have the impression of the future of certain careers, the information back 20, 30 years ago. And if you count back 30, 40 years ago, there's no job in Hong Kong for science subjects. That happens at least to us. So after we go to college, we have to go abroad because there's no job in Hong Kong for anyone with a degree in science, chemistry, physics, or whatever. And I think that's the reason why we have so few students who decided to pursue a subject area in science. I think to me that's one of the reasons. But I think that will change because in fact now we are doing things to change that perception. Which I think that's why I think that one is that's why I say the Raise Plus scheme is very good because that actually will definitely change the perspective of science to get a career.
The eyes from the parents, right?
So I think that will change. But at the moment, I think to me that's the reason, I think.
Yes, I think so. It's our job too. Okay, well, being in the university, okay, we would like to, okay, well, broadcast the message loud and clear that, okay, well, we do have a lot of opportunities in IoT and INT, and also scientific developments, be it biotech, AI, entrepreneurship, and all these, okay, well, are not, we're not there, 35 years ago. And now they are actually emerging, and many are actually pretty mature. And we have a lot of opportunities. And imagine some 30 years ago when you want to study, say, a PhD in Hong Kong, but you don't have a lot of option. Okay, in Hong Kong, at that time, only 2 universities, and also offer PhD. And you don't have a lot of student quota. Okay, James can tell you more about that. Nowadays, we are talking about governments would like to expand. This PhD quotas and postgraduate quota. This is a very important move as well, and allow more opportunity for the locals student interested in science and technologies and medicine and any other research. That they can engage in Hong Kong instead of going abroad. And also another question we have discussed, talk about, over downstairs, and is the comparisons of doing a PhD in Hong Kong in local universities and doing a PhD abroad. And let me emphasize that our universities in Hong Kong are all internationally, I won't say famous, but we do have a place there. So that we can demonstrate ourselves. We are competitive enough compared to top hundreds universities all over the world. Yeah. And so it is really not essential for you to go abroad to study. If you, for some reasons, you would like to stay in Hong Kong and close to the family, close to all your something you're familiar with, then we have a lot of opportunity now. Of course, for those would like to go to overseas to gain some overseas experience, it's also very encouraging. As long as you do well in all these scientific, technological research, and then try to contribute to the scientific community. Science is actually a global perspective rather than just very limited to Hong Kong. But for us, we are talking about the Hong Kong story, and certainly we would like to see it flourish in Hong Kong.
Actually, Hong Kong has a lot of innovation as well, and a lot of amazing scientific research done in Hong Kong as well. So really just like our students, after you participate in HKLF and be more exposed to science, and also go back home to tell your parents, actually there's a good prospect in being a scientist and, studying mathematics or science-related subjects. And I think the perspective of our parents or the older generation will actually change very soon, because how firmly the government and also President Xi talked about how to build Hong Kong into an international INT hub. I think everybody will know there is a lot of opportunity and potential there, right? So we heard a lot about how we could do better and to make our younger generation or encourage more talents to go into the science field. And I would like to direct the next question to Dr. Chai again, because we know there are a lot of support in, science park or infrastructure on a lot of, technologies and, ideas and, incubation programs. But what are the things that we can do to inspire the younger generation on their intangible qualities, like how to make them, be curious or interested in this field? What would you say about that?
I think we have been doing a lot of STEM program at primary school and secondary school already. Compared to our days when we were young, is incomparable. Like my 2 sons, they are at primary 6 and S1. During the last summer, they already went to do volunteer works to help earlier years primary student in teaching them microbit. Yeah, so it's something that I've never thought of when I was at school. So this is something that I think Hong Kong has done a lot. But in terms of internship, I think many of our student in universities or some new graduates had experienced the same thing, like my two nieces, that they went to a business degree, and then after they graduate, they went to a dentistry. And my another niece, she started off in architect, and then she went to business, and then finally she went to law degree.
Oh.
So it's a kind of like moving around, but of course at the end I think they will still find their path. But to me, when we were young, we were allowed to do summer jobs easily. But today in Hong Kong, when you ask a secondary school student, when they are below 18, when you tell your principal, your headmaster, I have a summer job, to say, wow, it was something very, very odd. So this is something that I want to share. My eldest son, he had been telling me and my wife since he was in S2 that he wants to go to nursing. And then when he was at S5, and then my wife said to me, oh, you are the one to force him to go to nursing. I said, no, I never did. So I helped him to enroll into a volunteer program into a elderly home under Tung Wah Hospital.
Right.
So he was there for 3 weeks. He saw everything, all the things you need to see as being a nurse. After he finished the 3 weeks, I asked him in front of my wife, do you still want to go to nursing? He said, yes. So this is a job shadowing experience. So this inspired me to engage a program with Science Park and the Federation of Hong Kong Industry in August, that we did a trial of with Poland Cook with 35 secondary school students from various Poland Cook's schools. So we bring them to Science Park, we bring them to Inno Parks, and let them to know what is Science Park, what do we do, what does S3 do, what does Stanislaw do, and at Inno Park, if they're a company making MRI machines in Hong Kong,
Right.
okay, or doing a 3D printing of bones for surgery. So the students were shocked that we have
Mind-blowing
all this in Hong Kong. So with the survey of the 35 students, I asked them, we asked them, do you want to go to STEM subjects for your undergraduate degree? 99% of them said yes. So I think it's very important at secondary school stage to let them to have experience as a job shadowing.
Experience and exposure, how to they have like hands-on experience and to see.
Not to pick a degree and to become a lawyer after watching a TV program.
Okay, not
Whole
those drama, right?
It's a common practice.
All right. Yeah, we would like to actually learn from Principal Wan from your perspective. Like we talked a lot about how to inspire secondary school students. And back to the science field, what's the personal take on science education in secondary school as a whole, and how to encourage students to pursue that in their post-secondary education? What do you think?
I think the science education nowadays is keep changing. In the past, maybe we totally focus on the knowledge itself, the understanding, and the ultimate goal maybe the examination, something like that. But in the past 10 years or 20 years, there may be some part that is changing, but I think we can accelerate it. First part is the nature of the science and the investigation part. Actually, in some of the school, especially in some private school or in DSS school, they will, and also of course in some aided school, there will be some science fair program for the primary students or secondary students to experience the project learning, something like that. And also in the upper form, and I think there would be a lot of scientific investigation project and also some competition for them to participate in. Yeah. And on the other hand, besides the knowledge, how they apply the knowledge to solve problems, how they apply their knowledge to solve authentic problems. That is something like the STEAM or STEM innovation. This part is more and more school will emphasize on it as the government promote it a lot. Yeah, and I think in secondary school we can, based on the basic curriculum, try to add on some more investigation parts in our curriculum, and also try to promote the student out to explore some research program in the university, and also some competition, so that they can broaden their horizon in that field. Yeah.
Also get to meet with industry, experts that would also help them to, get more exposure as well. So you talked about STEAM education. A lot of resources actually have been allocated for the STEM education, STEAM education, and also career planning, actually. We talked about how job shadowing or let them to have more experience on the hands-on experience. On STEAM education, do you think it is now going on a right direction? If yes, then what is being done well? And if not, what is missing? Do you think there are things that we can do better?
I think it would be very difficult to tell, because I'm not sure what the direction is actually. Because we got a lot of choices, a lot more of implementation.
A lot of flexibility.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility. So maybe one thing I would like to stress most is the definition of this STEM or STEAM, and the ultimate goal for STEAM education or STEM education should be, we think, at this stage. Yeah,
Right.
because some innovation and creativity, this part may be sometimes ignored in some schools, maybe, perhaps, and I think there will be a kind of collaboration between different subjects. But the creativity part or innovation part may be not that strong. Yeah.
Right.
So I
More
think
guidelines could be given.
yeah, and then and also the overall picture for the curriculum planning may not be very strong. So that I think we have to put a lot of effort to make it clear. Yeah.
Okay, I think it would be good for, I guess today to also know about, from your perspective, what can be done better. Like maybe to give better guidelines, or also to equip the teachers for them to know more about what is happening in the science world, right? For more innovations happening in Hong Kong, right? So as time, we don't have a lot. I would have one question for all the panelists together. I would like to hear from you. From your perspective, what would you think are the things that different stakeholders can do together in the community to really encourage and to, let more students or younger generation to be interested and to be curious and to actually pursue, maybe to know more about science field, or to enter the science field as their career? Maybe you can start from Dr. Chai.
Okay, I've mentioned about the job sharing program that we have tried in August. Of course, that program was supported by Sino Group, and we'll be doing a second
Edition.
cohort soon. And of course, we'll think of learn from the survey from the student. The second cohort, we are planning to invite parents as well.
Oh, that's
like
great.
what you
That would be
mentioned.
great, yeah.
Yes, I mean the parents needs to be educated as well. I think this is very
Right.
important.
Yeah, really appreciate that.
And at the end, we want to tell the student, okay, you go into a STEM undergraduate degree. When you graduate, it doesn't matter if you really want to be a scientist or engineer, but if you go to work for a financial institute, you can still practice your knowledge in the area. For example, you work for a VC, you still need those kind of knowledge.
Right. Those can be applicable in other industries as well, right? How about you, Professor Wong?
Yes, I think so. Not only the secondary school, but university also. We should communicate better. With general public and the importance of science and technologies, and the economy. Okay, the next generation economy going to build on all these high tech backgrounds. And so, we would like to inspire our younger generations early as early as possible. And here, not only secondary school, but also the university can play an important role by more structure and organize more activities, and that you can communicate, you can inspire the younger generations in many different settings, be it competitions, be it just simple workshop, and all these activities count, and including these very important occasions.
Yeah, I think Laureate Forum is really setting a very good example for that.
Exactly.
And you, Professor Chan?
Well, I've been thinking very hard. What should we do? No, actually, I used to do a lot of volunteer work when I was in the U.S. To talk to the elementary school students, teachers, high schools, help them do projects and things like that. Now, I don't find that opportunity that frequent in Hong Kong, which I think is something that we are missing. And I think especially for those who are doing the STEM subjects in universities or working in the area, if they can volunteer more, talk to students, talk to teachers, talk to anyone in the community, whenever there's any opportunity for doing volunteer work, if they take the opportunity and do it really well, I think that's what duty that we have to this community.
Just spread the message, right, through this community work and to sharing. Thank you. And Principal Wan, what about you?
For secondary schools, I think we have to bring in something, the scientific investigation, the component to the school, and also bring out the student to reach out, something like this seminar. They can, I think it would be very amazing to talk to some distinguished speakers and some professor. At my time when I worked in university, professor is very far away from us. But now the teachers can bring the student here to communicate with some wonderful professor in Hong Kong. I think it will be very important. So bring in some important element in order to cultivate the culture of scientific investigation and bring out the student to let them to see the world, the opportunities of scientific research. Yeah.
Right, to be their eye-openers, to let them know the world. Well, one last word. If I ask each of you to give one word to our younger generation, be them joining us here physically today, our students or those watching us online, what is the one word that you want to encourage them in, keeping the curiosity and to really explore and to be interested in science? What would you say? Dr. Chow, why don't we start from you?
Just one word: commitment. Yeah, commitment. When you see something that you want to go after, all you need is commitment.
Right, commitment. All right, Professor Wong.
I think it's a thinking.
Thinking.
Yes, thinking about your own futures and thinking about how to be successful in your developments in your career in general.
Thinking. Keep exploring. Professor Chan.
Be curious. Be inquisitive.
Be curious. And Professor Wan, Principal Wan.
Enjoy. Just enjoy.
Yeah. Wow, that's important. Commitment, thinking, and be curious and enjoy. All right, thank you very much once again to our panel, please. Very insightful and valuable advices. Thank you very much. And we definitely hope that you have some takeaways and find that rewarding. Thank you once again to all the panelists. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Once again, a big round of applause to our panelists, please. Wonderful sharing. Thank you. Wow, that is really inspiring, and I find it really, really rewarding as well. Thank you once again to our panelists. Now, on behalf of HKLF, I would like to thank you all again for joining us today, and also those of you joining us online. I hope you find the session and the whole event rewarding and informative.